So I was saying about the classes that we are going to start. So when we are learning about the 9th standard history, there is a information about different sources and some of the modern information is there. Up to now, we studied our freedom struggles. Means, for example, we studied about that how we got the independence, Mahatma Gandhi. Before that, Shivaji Maharaj's history we studied. Now, this year's history is totally different. The first lesson, that is sources of history, which we now learned in 5th or 6th standard. After that, our progress in educational technicals, in the field of science, in the field of trade and business, that informations are there. Different 5 years plans, what the government arrange 5 years plan, that some information about that plans are there. Our new discoveries, new inventions, information is there. So let's turn toward the first lesson, that is sources of history. So till now we have studied of ancient, medieval and modern India. Up to now we have studied about the information about the ancient history, medieval history and the modern history. So this year we have studied history of India in the post-independence era. Sources of modern history are different from those of ancient and medieval history. When we are learning about that modern history sources, that they are a bit different another from the ancient and the medieval history. What are the informations we collect? What are the informations we gathered? Whatever we have seen, we have learned, that little bit different from the ancient and the medieval. Then in modern Indian history, it is a bit different. We can study history with the help of various sources like written sources, material sources and the oral sources. Different sources are there of histories. With the different sources we can learn information, we can gather information, we can adopt, we can learn, we can learn from these various sources of history. That so among that, what is that written sources is there, oral sources is there and the material sources. So in this way sources of history are divided there. So in a present time, when we are learning, it is about the past, written sources, material sources and the oral sources. But in a present time, in this present generation, so in the 21st century or in the 20th century, the sources of histories are totally little bit changed. That one more content or one more part category is added in the sources of history, along with the written sources, material sources and the oral sources. The new form is that is the audio visual medium or audio visual sources. In the modern period, we have to take note of various sources at the regional, state, national as well as international levels. When we are learning history at that time, we have to study about the different sources of history. In the different sources of history, we have to study about the history of regional area wise, we have to study about the history of the state, we have to study about the national level history or the international levels history. So to learn the national level or international level histories, the fourth category is that audio visual medium or the sources of history is also important. We can write history with the help of these sources. So when we are learning or when we are writing history, that time we have to use or we have to adopt sources. We have to take help of these from these sources, written sources, material sources or the oral sources. So first of all, this is the background of the sources of history. So now we'll discuss in detail about each of these sources. So first one in that is written sources. Now general informations or the general definitions of the written sources is that whatever the information is available in a written format, to that informations we can call as a written sources. That information must be about the past incident or the idea event, that it should be from the ancient, so that we can call to this source type of sources we can call as a written sources. Because in the ancient time we were not there, in the past we were not there, we came to know about them, about these events through the written format only, through the written document. So what are the information is there, document is there, it is available in the written format about that incident, about that event, about that time, to that we can call as a written sources. They provide us information, so because of that we can we call to it as a source, that we get the information. So following sources are included in the written sources. So when we are learning history, in that history, in the written sources, some content, some categories are there, some points are there, these points are included there in the written sources. Which are there? There is a diagram is there, written sources in a circle, and some of that rays are there, arrow symbols are there. It's a concept wise diagram, that is a written sources is in middle, and then different ways are there, means arrows are there, through that they give information about the different types of sources. So when we are learning that newspaper is there, periodicals, diaries, reference book, correspondence, document in the archives, government gazettes, postage stamps, and encyclopedias. So these different sources are, these are the different sources are there. All these sources are included into the written sources. Newspapers gives information about the ancient or the past incident. Mostly we use as a source of history for the newspapers. We get the ancient times number of the informations through the newspaper. That periodicals which are published by weekly, means monthlies, quarterlies, that or half yearly or yearly. That diaries are there, many persons they wrote the hand diaries, daily diaries. Through that we can we get the information through the diaries. Reference book, number of the reference books are there, written by the different authors or the writers, historians. There's correspondence, royal correspondence, orders are there, king's orders are there, their announcements. Document into the archives departments, archive department, museums. What are the documents? Ancient documents, gadgets, informations are there, books are there, rare copies, handbooks are there, they kept as it, they preserve. Government gazette, government orders are there, which they publish. That postage stamps are there. Through the postage stamp also we get information about the specific year of the time, that information about the specific period. Encyclopedias, it's also provide information about the past incident or the past events, information they give us or they publish, they contain, and that we can read with the help of the net or the internet. So these are the different types of written sources are there. So for what is that, in do you know, the place where historical documents are preserved is called as a archives. The place where historical documents are preserved, that we can say as a museums. For the museum, different types of museums are there. War equipment, means different, otherwise weapons, about the jewelries, antique pieces are there, things are there. So like same way archives are there. What are the historical documents are there, where they preserve, to that department we can call as a archives department, or to that place we can call as a archives. The main office of the National Archives Department of India is in New Delhi. The main head office of the National Archives Department, it is into the New Delhi, which is the capital of our country there. So it is the largest among the archives in Asia. So what means in Delhi, which is main department of urgent department is situated into the Delhi. It is one of the largest department, urgent department in Asian continent.